Guten Tag, everybody. I'm back. And Turkey is in the news for fucked up reasons, as usual. And they basically pissed all over the moment of silence at a soccer game that was meant to honor the dead victims of the Paris attacks. And they didn't want to do that. So let's take a gander at what the Young Turks are going to say about that. Surely they will give us an honest and objective assessment of what took place there. Surely they will not try to crowbar in agenda points. Please begin.
During the Greece versus Turkey soccer game recently, there was a moment of silence that was endorsed by the soccer organization behind the game. Okay, so according to the San Francisco Chronicle, the UEFA, Europe's governing soccer body, requested that all European international games hold a minute of silence before the start of their matches and wear black armbands. Now, that is the most common sense thing to do. Of course, you want to show solidarity with the victims in France. There's nothing wrong with that. However, if you look at the next video, you'll see that not everyone in the audience was a fan of this moment of silence. Take a look. So there's controversy because the Turkish soccer fans were not silent. They were waving their flags and they were yelling. Some are saying that they were booing, although I couldn't really hear whether or not it was booing or if they were just being loud and obnoxious during a clear moment of silence to show respect and solidarity with victims. Now, whether or not they're booing, I don't care. What they did was disrespectful. What they did was disgusting, okay? And I don't know what else to say about that.
The story should be over. It should be, what did you expect from Muslims? Muslims who buy the book Mein Kampf. If you were to sell the book Mein Kampf, and they just did an announcement at that soccer stadium and said, oh, by the way, we have a book on sale, it's Mein Kampf. If you care about hating Jews and just want to get inside the mind of Adolf, be sure to pick up a copy. That book would sell. Because it has sold, because they're anti-Semitic, because they're Muslim. Yes, Muslim. Meaning the followers of a pedophile warlord, those guys. Now watch what John and this other tool decide to do with it. Watch where it goes and watch how this conversation is bizarre. It just takes bizarre turns. Watch.
It's hard to say that they were booing. I don't watch a lot of soccer matches, let alone international soccer matches.
Already he's defending the booing soccer fans. It's hard to say if they were booing. So when you say, hey everybody, there was a slaughter, huge international story, we have innocent dead people, needlessly killed, by terrorists, Muslim terrorists. Let's have a moment of silence, 1 minute of silence. And these people are like, whoa, no. And John's contribution to the conversation is, can we really call that booing? Is it really booing? I think we're rushing to judgment on that. So John, what do you call it when it's like, boo? Non-silence during a moment of silence is absolutely disrespectful. There's no excuse for that. I mean, this guy, even in the presence of video, auditory proof that these people are fucking reprehensible. And his first instinct is to be like, no, well, let's tap the brakes on the condemnation of the Turkish. I am, after all, employed by a Turk. Now, just to show you a difference, here is a moment of silence from this week at Wembley Stadium, England versus France. This is what a moment of silence is supposed to sound like.
Which will start now on the referee's whistle. Avec les équipes au centre du terrain déjà, nous allons observer 1 minute de silence et nous vous invitons à nous rejoindre en présentant nos respects selon le sifflet de l'arbitre.
Gary, where are you? Hello? Can you guys still hear me? Pull up a chair or sit cross-legged on a cushion. Écoutez le silence.
We thank you.
And it's over. For fuck's sake. I mean, well, can we really call that silence? Right, John? Can we? Maybe the audio was tampered with? Do we have corroborating evidence on that? Fucking A.
matches, but that sounds to me like what I imagine the stadium sounds like all the time.
Well, John, you being a complete doofus, dork, clearly you have no understanding of sports. Or what a moment of silence is in the aftermath of an atrocity. Oh, that's just how it normally is, John? Here, let's compare. Here's a little split test for you. Ready? Here are the Turks. And here are the English. You know England, the home of the soccer hooligans? Oh God, they're rough as hell. Tatted up, headbutting everybody. Just rough around the edges, human beings. I hang out with some of them. They don't even pronounce the letter R. I got people talking about when we starting the hangout. When we starting, ooze. They barely have a grip on the English language. That's what happens when you sit on an island and interbreed with snaggle-toothed, clammy, chubby-ass people living in a cloud. The results are not good. Okay, let me just say that. But even they have the moral clarity to know to shut the fuck up for a moment of silence to recognize the dead.
As your Turkish correspondent and the only Turkish person at the Young Turks, let me clarify what happened there. They were actually yelling.
Hold on. The sound coming out of the Turks was hostile, disrespectful, and completely fucked up. Now, this guy is apparently about to tell us the meaning of the chant. So he picked up a chant that some of those people were engaged in. Now, what do you think that chant was? Here's some options. We condemn the act of our fellow Muslims. They have insulted the Prophet. Could that be the chant? Or could it be, how about this? Maybe they were just aggressively mourning the dead. There is no excuse for murder. We condemn the terrorists. Was that the chant? Well, let's find out. Please tell us.
Şehitler ölmez, vatan bölünmez.
Oh, obviously.
Which means martyrs don't die and the country never separates.
Martyrs don't die and the country never separates. Well, the country contracts because you used to be the Ottoman Empire and now you ain't no empire. You're jack squat. You're nothing. Your country is shit. The West just took over your empire and just said, that's ours now. Yeah, that's mine. Get the fuck out. So martyrs never die is the chant. So this is worse than booing. It's total disrespect and it's in favor of the people that did the killing. I mean, this is clear as day pro-terrorist chanting. This is radical Muslim solidarity being displayed by the Turkish. Surprise, a fucking prize. Oh, and by the way, rest assured, martyrs do die. They're dead. Including the last one, my favorite, which is, he's not my boyfriend. Kaboom. Famous last words. Put that in a book.
And this is a common theme throughout our history because Turkey has always had terror attacks from terrorist groups like PKK, which are predominantly Kurds, but then also from ISIS, and especially until in recent times as well in Ankara, when there was an ISIS bombing where 100 people died and 400 people were injured.
Ha! Look at Anna and John staring at him blankly. This is a story they didn't cover. The 9/11 of Turkey. 100 people dead in a bomb blast was not covered. Now, that should not surprise you, knowing the litany of events of Muslim terrorism that they do not cover. Every month I go over that list, and you will be hard-pressed to find a story that they actually cover. Like, they have to cover Paris because the mainstream media is covering it. It's too popular. But all these other stories, scandalously, they just don't get covered. Meanwhile, Dylan Roof does nothing, sits in a jail cell. He gets coverage on a daily basis at that network.
And that's like a saying that we have because we believe that people that die in terrorist attacks are also martyrs alongside our military that fights terror groups, right?
Did he just say we? So wait, you believe that? Are you a Muslim? You believe martyrs don't die and they should be heralded like heroes. Well, isn't that special? Oh, what a repugnant shit. Why doesn't anybody slap him? I'll slap him. I'm coming to Los Angeles tomorrow. I'll come over and slap this motherfucker.
So they weren't exactly booing. They weren't like booing the fact that Paris was bombed, and it wasn't a show of like being non-sympathetic. It was
What the fuck? How could he present that as an argument? How? This is infinitely worse than booing. Booing is just generic. It could just be an emotional response. Oh, it's totally unjustified and totally fucked up. But to chant that the martyrs never die? You're literally siding with murderers. I mean, this is unbelievable. So, it wasn't technically booing. It was something that was 100 times more egregious than booing. Not to mention any vocalization at all during that moment of silence is putrid, is shameful. How dare they? Fuck those Turks.
more.
Potentially solidarity, basically.
Yeah, but
Oh God. Dude, fucking somebody shake me. Somebody punch me in my face. Because did John just say potentially solidarity? John, do you understand that John means solidarity to the French victims there? He's thinking that maybe it's solidarity to the French victims. No, John, you backwards ass donkey fuck. John, it's solidarity to the Muslims. Oh God. John, how hard is this to understand? Oh my God. Oh, can we really say they were booing the chant martyrs never die in lieu of a jihadist attack that killed hundreds? Perhaps that was solidarity to the French victims. Fucking John.
at the same time, but then again, it's a complex political issue because Turkey is predominantly Sunni, and so is ISIS. And ISIS has a common kind of enemy within Turkey. Like I said, it's complex, and this might sound a little insensitive, but the ISIS attacks Kurds, which Kurds usually have been known to attack within Turkish borders, right?
Oh, it's wildly complex. Sunni, Shia, terrorist groups, Middle East, everybody's killing everybody, Muslims spreading their violent death cult around the globe. Yeah, tough one. You know, Charlie Hebdo was related to Al-Qaeda. This is ISIS. Al-Shabaab's killing. Boko Haram's blowing people up today, yesterday. You know, yeah, a lot of nuance here. Oh, it's so much to sort through. God, I can't see the big picture here.
So some of the very radical conservative Muslims in the crowd might genuinely be booing in support of ISIS.
Might? We just witnessed it. Are you kidding me? Go to the Al Jazeera poll. Al Jazeera, by the way, partners with the Young Turks. And they said, do you support ISIS, the military actions of ISIS in the Middle East? Are you in favor of it? It got 82% approval from the people taking that poll. Oh, not all Muslims voted on that poll. Oh, fucking bring out the not all brigade. Oh, and by the way, the Young Turks do an entire video where it was just pure not all. That was the whole point of the video. They found a guy who said all. And the rest of the video is just, oh, not all. And then at the end of that, they can just call it a good day. That's an honest day's work. I got up there and I said, not all. Which essentially brings me back to the premise. The difference between a liberal and a regressive. Liberal says, there's a problem. The regressive turns and says, let's talk about the non-problem. I don't want to talk about the problem. I want to talk about the non-problem. I've tried to use analogies to explain this to people, how wildly irresponsible and shameful it is to talk about the non-problematic Muslims, the Muslims that are just eating sandwiches and don't give a shit about religion. Nobody is concerned about them. Oh, they're dumb. Oh, they're fucking vile. Oh God, they're members of a death cult, an inexcusable death cult. They follow a disgusting rapist, warlord, pedophile. Fuck them. So fuck all Muslims. Don't get me wrong. But they're not a threat the same way the super duper violent ones are. So when I say to Anna Kasparian, Anna, there's an asteroid heading to Earth. It is plummeting on a direct collision course with Earth. You know what Anna says? What about the asteroids that aren't about to hit Earth? Not all asteroids are going to destroy our planet. Anna, I'm talking about the one that is, I can see it right now. It is blocking half of the sun. It's heading directly for me. Yeah, and there are many others. In fact, the vast majority of asteroids are not going to hit Earth. So why are you so... Anna, we have 10 minutes to live here. Open your mouth.